All right, well, without further ado, we have my favorite, Mark Weisleder, here in studio, so welcome again.
Thank you, Erin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, we have lots to talk about. We're going to have you here for a while, and you're definitely one of our audience's favorite. We have so many questions that come for you, so we're going to try and get through what we can. But the first topic of discussion is about this Airbnb, and it's saying that is it legal in Ontario? That's questions that are coming in. Can you explain what Airbnb is, and then, of course, is it legal in Ontario?
You know, this is an extremely popular website that grows and grows. And what it is instead of staying at a hotel, when you go to a foreign city, you look online and find somebody who just wants to rent out their home for a short period of time, a few days, a week, and you make a private deal with that person for a lot less than you would pay to stay in a hotel. So you can see why the hotel industry is extremely upset about this, but why private travelers love it. They get to save a lot of money and in many cases stay in very quaint neighborhoods in a city. And as long as they do their research in advance on the seller and the location, it's a terrific deal for everybody.
It's a win-win. So I can smell or sense a conflict here, Mark, because you just hit something here. The hotels, of course, hate the idea, but the consumers love it. It's giving a fantastic option. If you want to experience a city firsthand and be able to live it as if you're living there, I mean, no better way but to actually be in somebody's residence, right? I mean, you're right in the middle of it.
That's true. You know, but you also have to remember that the hotel industry has to comply with all kinds of government laws and regulations to make sure that they comply with health, safety, and other things. People renting out their homes, you have no idea what you're walking into, so you can see the friction that's developing. And then, of course, there are other laws, especially here in Ontario, that might apply.
Now, what about fees? I mean, when you're in the hotel business, of course, you have fees. There's fees that apply for you to be able to conduct your business. Anybody that's considering renting their dwelling on a long-term basis, of course, then you will have fees to be able to do so. So these Airbnb, this is kind of like your do-it-yourselfer for sale by owner kind of solution to the travel industry. And they're getting away with, I guess, not having these fees and being able to kind of run it the way they want.
It really looks that way. And really, all they have to pay is a small fee to Airbnb, which is the matchmaker putting them together.
So it's a dating site in the sense where you're actually
finding
a perfect place to reside.
That's a nice way to put it.
So is this legal? Is it legal in Ontario?
Well,
so if I have a place and I want to, this sounds good to me. You know what? I'm not going to be here for the March break. I'm going away. I'm fine with somebody staying in my place while I'm away.
Well, I think a lot depends on what it is that you're renting. So, for example, let's say you have an apartment. You rent an apartment from a landlord, and you might pay $2,000 a month. Well, now you say, hey, I'm going away. Why don't I rent out 7 days, 10 days? I'll charge $200 a day, and I've got my monthly rent paid by just doing this. Well, you are subletting for more money than you're paying your landlord. That's illegal in Ontario. You're not allowed to do that. So right away, tenants could be violating their leases here in Ontario. Condominiums. Let's say you have a condo, you own a condo, and you want to do this. A lot of people are doing this, especially downtown Toronto. Well, remember, most condominiums will have rules against short-term rentals. And the reason is because, you know, there's security concerns. Who's there? Who's across the hall from me? And so most of these condominium owners are violating their own rules, and so the board of directors can complain. But if you have a private home, there's less I think, chance of people complaining, although you're running really a business without a license.
So there's kind of the, we're in that middle of it's happening, it's prevalent, it's making an impact. I love the idea. I mean, how can you not? To me, it sounds fantastic. It just gives me more choice. But I can see the problems that can arise. So if people are considering this, Mark, what should they do? I mean, really.
Well, if you want to do this yourself, like use somebody else's place, all I can say is go on the site, check the references, because there have been some terrible experiences. Check references, you know, and about the seller and the property to make sure you're not spending money, you know, for nothing. But the site is pretty good at what they offer people. But also remember, if you want to do this here in Ontario, you may be violating laws, and you got to be extremely careful, because if people complain, there will be legal consequence.
Stick around. When we come back, Mark Weisleder explains the debate over whether your home selling price should be public information. Don't go away. We'll be right back.